Hey cousins, it's your cousin with another spooky story. Come on. So I have this friend when we were 19 or 20, that's when we first became acquainted. She comes from a very well-off family, so she has money. Her family has money. And she was like, hey, how about we go to my family's lake house? I was like, oh, okay. Now, me and her, we used to, we're young, we're in college, we don't have any responsibilities but ourselves. So, of course, we used to be like, okay, we would take a road trip in a minute and we would take a flight in a minute, okay? It was never a problem. So, fast forward, we got to the lake house, and once we got there, we're having a ball, we're having fun, and we're sitting on the couch. And while we're sitting on the couch, she decided to take the time and tell me, I used to be so freaked out to come here. And my first reaction is, why? What's up? Why was you scared to come here? Now, mind you, me and her actually met at a stroll off at Wayne State. So we're friends, but we're not like childhood friends to where I felt comfortable enough to tell her that of my, seeing abilities. So I never told her. So then fast forward to, we have been talking for hours and it's probably almost 2 a.m. So it's time for us to go to sleep. So it's time for me to go to my room. Our rooms are across from each other. And so as soon as I walk in my room, I see a spirit floating over near the window. Okay. And once I opened the door and saw the spirit, it started floating like across my bed. And I instantly was just like blinking a lot, just like this, because please tell me my contacts just need to be adjusted. So then fast forward, I knocked on my friend's door and I was like, hey, how about I stay in your room tonight? So as you can imagine, you in the same room as your friends. So of course y'all talking and stuff. And so while we're up talking, she started telling me like, yeah, my family's they bought this lake house when we were younger. And then she told me about the person that hung themselves on the property. So my first thought is that while they were floating? So we get tired of talking to each other. And I go to sleep. But I felt her moving a lot. So I look over and she's sitting right, straight up in bed. And I'm like, what? So I'm looking at her trying to figure out what she's looking at. And she's looking over at the window and she pointed. And there's this woman with the creepiest smile. The creepiest smile on her face, knocking on the window. Can you help me? Can you help me? I looked at her and I said, you better. So after that creepy lady knocked on the window asking to be let in, me and my friend got into this real big argument. Like we really going back and forth. She is real mad at me. She like, but what if that person needs help? And da 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 da. And I said, I guarantee you that person did not need help. She was just like, I'm about to go check for myself. Y'all, she went up front. And when she went up front, she went and opened up the front door. I ran so fast and closed that front door because why would you do that? It's late as hell. And you was going to let just anybody up in here with us and I'm here too? Nah. So after we locked everything up out there, we ended up going to my room because both of us was real weirded out. So we decided we was going to stay together in my room. So we get to my room. And we're sitting straight up. We're watching TV. And I locked the room door, of course. Because we're too scared to go to sleep. So we just up. And so then I hear knocking on my room door. Please, I need help. Like something like that. And I was like, now, mind you, I already know what's up. My friend has never seen a ghost. Never experienced anything. Well, she has, but she just don't know it. Because when she said she just never felt right coming there, that was a sign right there. So then she's sitting up there, she just got this look on her face. And I thought, okay, she finally get it. She finally get that this, these are spirits. She gonna stare and look me dead in my face. She came in our house. I looked at her and I was like, girl. So then I had to explain to her what was going on. She freaked out even more. And while I was explaining to her, something walked in the room. Door was locked, by the way. Walked in the room. Door is wide open. And came and sat right in front of the TV on the dresser. Now, the TV is hung up on the wall. But, there's a dresser right there. They sit right there on the dresser. Right on the dresser. Y'all, she ain't been the same since. She ain't been the same since. Now, you can't go nowhere with homegirl without her knowing the details of, like, who stayed in this house before us. She want to know the history, everything. She don't trust nobody now. She want to pray before everything now. She don't care if we just going for a walk. She want to pray. She don't play that. Because she just really couldn't believe her ears and her eyes when she saw that. She was, oh my God, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall.
Y'all want to hear about these ghost kids that just tried to pass themselves off as children when I had my kids outside for recess and just tried to have them line up and come inside the school? Okay, so I'm not a teacher. I'm a volunteer. I volunteer at my daughter's school. I pretty much help her teacher with whatever she needs. I'm just a concerned parent. So fast forward, the teacher counted out 14 kids for me to take outside for recess. I'm like, okay, cool. We get outside for the recess. I'm watching all 14 of the kids. I'm looking at them, watching them. Off to the right, there are the first graders, okay? And their teachers are over there watching them. And then on the jungle gym are the third graders. Now, mind you, like I said, we only had 14 kids that I took outside for recess. So I'm watching them. And where they're running, it's like nothing but open field, grass and trees. Now, it's not so many trees where you can't see the kids, right? They're only like, there's a big tree over here, there's a big tree off to the right, and then there's one single big tree that's straight ahead. Now, that one single big tree, I saw the kids over there running, and I was like, what they doing way down there? So I started yelling. I said, hey, get down here where I can, get to you, where I can see you. They weren't listening to me. So fast forward, I go down there. I start walking towards the tree. And then as I'm walking towards the tree that's in the far distance, the kids started running towards me. I guess they didn't want me coming down there. So I walked down there anyway just to make sure ain't no other kids hiding. So I walked down there, look behind the tree. Nobody's down there. So I started walking back. And by that time, it was time for the kids to start lining up anyway. Recess was over. So I'm like, okay, let's line up. All the kids started lining up. And I'm like, you know what, let me count. So I started counting the kids. Now remember, I had 14 kids when I came out there. And all of a sudden, the number is at 19. I said 19. So I was like, I had 14 kids when I came out here. All of a sudden, we had 19. So then I started looking at faces. Because I've been with them 3 weeks now. Like, I've been volunteering for 3 weeks. I know what their face look like now. So I started looking at faces. And I see the last 5 kids do not look familiar to me at all. I'm like, what's your name? Little boy was like, Zachariah. I said, what's your last name? He could not tell me. I said, are you in Miss Wood's class? He said, no. I said, well, why are you on my line, baby? He's like, I just wanted to play. And then the other kids behind him just sitting there like statues, ain't said a word, didn't blink. And the other kids saw them as well. The other kids saw them. Y'all know how sensitive kids can be.